Welcome to the bold analysis. President William Ruto's tonight's admission that Justin Muturi, while serving as Attorney General, was fairly incompetent. But again, he continued to appoint him. He went ahead and appointed him as a CS after the Gen Z protest is mind-boggling, rather mind-blowing, and confirming something the country and political observers have been saying, that while the state appreciated the voice of the Gen Z, but the political class took temporary comfort and never learned any lesson from that. In fact, the accountability push by the Gen Z was simply squashed as a political activism orchestrated by some politicians in the country. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for being a supporter of this channel. Subscribing is absolutely free. And when you subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to get notifications when we publish a video. So subscribe.
That we have, so we will look at what we need to do. Mumesema mambo ya wakf, and I agree with you. It is it's taken too long. There is absolutely no reason, and I had a problem with the AG who was there. He was fairly incompetent, but I now have a very competent lady. I now have a very competent lady, and I can assure you that the issues of work will be sorted out in a matter of months. I also want to assure you that our Nubian brothers and sisters are solid members of the Kenyan society. And therefore, they are going to be mainstreamed as a Kenyan community, either by Madaraka or by Jamhuri. So at least this year, we will conclude the exercise of them being mainstreamed as part of the Kenyan society, because indeed they have made huge contributions to the development of our nation and to the progress of Kenya. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, I want to...
That is the statement that the president have made tonight, or rather on Tuesday evening, when he was hosting a Muslim delegation in Statehouse during the breaking of the fast, iftar. And it is very clear that for the first time he is responding publicly about Muturi. But I'm curious about this response because it does not address the question of abduction that Muturi raised. Muturi said he asked the president to excuse him from the cabinet meetings until the issue of abductions is brought in the executive table, is brought up as one of the things to be addressed in the cabinet. And since then, Muturi has not been attending the cabinet. Herman Manyora made a statement in related to this that I want us to get. And he was appearing in, he was actually being hosted in Spice FM. He said, without solving the deep concerns Kenyans are raising, the president is making a huge blunder.
And for Ruto, he must be aware that he cannot resist the change. That will be a dream. If he were to embrace the change by listening to what it is the Gen Zs were saying last year, he can as well survive. But to play games So that they say reshuffle, remove government, they resign, then you return the same people. Those are games. Those ones will not take you far.
It's like somebody's having a heart attack.
Just manage the change. Know that this country has gotten to a place where people must see really change.
Yes.
No illusion. So if for Ruto that's what it is, just know that the country has gotten to a place where games can't work anymore.
So let me ask you quickly, because we have seconds.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
quickly. So are you saying essentially that if the president were to wake up today and say, hang on a minute, guys, this is where the change is going and I want to be an agent of that change and I'm going to switch things around, people will say, then by all means, change the constitution, stay there for the next 50
and
years.
He must manage it well. And people can see games. They can see if you are buying time. They can see through it. If you are genuine, they can see it. If you want to change, you call a national conversation, a national convention, where Kenyans have a national conversation about the things they want, those which can be done now, those which can be done only in election 2027, those that can come later. People can see genuine concern. If you want to create hope for the future, people can see it.
And it is very clear that if he's not going to take the right direction, then the country is not going to be stable. Manyara picked up this, and this is it. We engage in circus. You're confirming that Muturi is incompetent, and you have appointed him as a cabinet secretary after the Gen Z protest. Did you learn your lessons? That is the appointing authority. That between Muturi and the president, who is more incompetent? The president has picked a non-existent agenda of unity and equity, while masquerading with this agenda of unity. His new lieutenants from ODM party are amplifying the politics of isolation against Gema. Kenyans are united, but politicians are dividing them to create ethnic blocks that will turn to be voting blocks in the next general election. And not twice, not thrice. The president is telling the country, this government is enough to accommodate us all. It is not a must for one person to leave for the other person to get a chance. And I know it is under that, it is because of that line why the executive is expanding. What the president is not telling us is, we promised ourselves that we are going to manage wage bill. So we will not add, or rather will not balloon, will not add, will not expand the executive. But if you look at the new list of principal secretaries, 7 new positions have been created against a promise to make the executive even more narrow. So while you are saying you can accommodate everyone, but do you also agree that you are expanding it beyond what was promised? This unity agenda is neither here nor there. And this is what is being made, this is what is being mainstreamed with the new deal with Raila Odinga. Something that is truly and unapologetically, you can say it, that the President William Ruto and Raila Odinga are just looking for ethnic and tribal groupings for 2027 bid.
We will pursue the things that unite us, that bring us together, that creates an environment where all our aspirations can be achieved. And I am very confident that we will succeed together. I have said, and I will repeat here, that the government of Kenya is able to carry all of us from different backgrounds, from different communities, different religions. We can all fit in the government of Kenya. And nobody needs to walk out for somebody else to come in. Na kama kumekuwa na mtu mwenye ako na taswishi kwamba serikali ya Kenya inaweza kututosha sisi wote. Now we have a broad-based government. Everybody is here. Sasa tuko na watu kutoka kila mahali. Na bado haijajaa, iko sawa. It is okay. Hakuna. Nobody has had to leave for others to come in.
So, in fact, it is just a circus. Tuko pamoja, we are bringing. That has never been agenda. That has never been a problem in this country. If you ask the people of this country, no one has a problem with the other person. It is just the politicians that think of those problems. I've been saying, in this country, people don't live in tribal blocks. If you go anywhere, you find all these people everywhere. In fact, the focus on deliverables on the side of the state could be the right direction instead of concentrating on these temporary comfort bombshells like Raila handshake to excite the citizens. But in real sense, we need the real work. And that is what Sifuna says, that unless you work for the people, no any other explanation will be needed. And this handshake with Raila is not going to yield anything. If you have a handshake with Raila and you're still appointing people you believe are incompetent, then surely, how are you going to turn around the country?
Katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM Edwin Sifuna sasa anadai kuwa huenda Rais Ruto akapoteza uchaguzi mkuu ujao hata kama ataungwa mkono na Raila Odinga. Sifuna akisema kuwa msukosuko wa uongozi wa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza huenda ukamkosesha rais nafasi nyingine ya kushinda kwenye kura ya urais. Sifuna alikuwa akizungumza kwenye kipindi cha Daybreak hapa Citizen TV.
I want to tell William Ruto that the only reason he will be re-elected, because everybody knows that even him pretending to front Raila, because Raila himself has told us that he did not ask Ruto to support him. And when he announced that he was going to run for this thing, it was of his own volition. He said it himself. If there is somebody lying to Ruto, because everybody knows this was supposed to be a ruse to try and come and blackmail, because he knows people love Baba. He knows people love Baba. So he comes and tells us, oh, I supported him, I helped him, I did this for him, and this and that, so that he blackmails Raila supporters emotionally, because we like when people do good things for Baba and when they honor him. But what has he done for us as a people? The people who are going to vote in this particular election will be asking those questions.
But the question is, are you saying...
I have said, if Raila endorses Ruto, Ruto will still lose. If Raila endorses Ruto, I will still not vote for Ruto, and I don't have to run. The major assignment we have in 2022 is to make Ruto a one-term president, because it's bad for the country. That is the primary concern for 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you a very good example. The state, they don't have an option. Things must just work. There is no option about this. Things must work. You know, you involve in circus. As we talk, governors were calling press briefing the other day saying January, February, March, yet to be paid to counties. And they issued a 14-day ultimatum to the national government. If that man is not taken, that man is not sent there, they are going to shut down the counties. You can do a simple research and look at the euro Kenyan shillings rate. It's at 140 yesterday. That was on Monday. It was at 140. And let me tell you something about SHA. And the case study is the Eunice, the lady we are helping in Kisumu. Someone was asking why not. She was taken to that hospital 3 weeks earlier. She didn't have SHA. So she had not even done it. But then she was registered a week after she was admitted. And after admission, they didn't notify SHA. Of course, she had not even paid. So they didn't even notify SHA that she was there. So the treatment that was done 21 days before we went there to support her has to be paid in cash. And it doesn't even end there. by the time she will be, and we, of course, that is what we were covering. And remember, I was telling you guys that we needed to pay SHA in full for 1 year upfront. By the time she'll be discharged, after we paid, you must have paid 6 months upfront for you to qualify. Now, this is something that the president is not saying in the street. He's not saying on top of the car. He's not telling, he's just telling you to go and register. I've seen another deputy county commissioner from Turkana saying, you register SHA, then you qualify for, what? You qualify for relief food. And again, there is a lot of emphasis on register, but no one is telling you about register and pay. 60% of the drugs that were needed are not in the hospital. They're not in the hospital. So I spent the whole weekend looking for one there, one here. I could not get, and I had to come back to Nairobi and get some from Nairobi and send there so that she could get assistance. And she's not alone. Let me shock you. On weekends, no one can administer chemotherapy. No doctor is there. Why? I want to believe they are underpaid, they are demotivated, they are dejected, or probably they are making good money at their private facilities. And when you walk there, when you walk in a hospital on Sunday, hey, it's like schools are closed. It's like a school which has been closed. Hey, inchi, tuko na shida. Mungu tu atusaidie. What am I saying? Ruto cannot appoint Muturi and then attack him saying he's incompetent while he's the appointing authority. It doesn't make sense. Or something, or just not telling us something. Number one, I think he lacks the response. He's trying to dodge the response, the question Muturi raised on isolation, on abductions. But two, I think this is just to pull a headline story ahead of Mount Kenya tour, testing the waters, how are things going to be, and of course creating that tension. And lastly, if the appointing authority is confirming incompetence, then that appointing authority is also incompetent. If the boss can confirm that I appointed an incompetent worker, staff, then surely even the person appointing must also take blame of incompetence. This one will be interesting to see how Muturi will respond, and I believe at the right time he will find it right to respond. Thank you.